Hello, I'm Marcus Kimbrough, everyone. So today we're going to discuss the other fall shows that premiered. We're going to get into the new shows that premiered as well. So I'm Marcus Kimbrough, and this episode of Staying in My Lane starts right now. All right, so I'm gonna go through them. I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible with them. If you get upset by the way that I'm critiquing these shows, do not blame me. Blame the writers. They're the ones who came up with this nonsense that I'm about to educate you on. All right, so I'm not gonna start with the new shows. First of all, I'm gonna do some of the remaining fall premieres because some of them have not premiered yet. But one I want to go into, Hawaii Five-0. Hawaii Five-0 is actually one of those middle of the road type shows. I mean, it's gone from having trying to do the entire cast of the old Hawaii Five-0 because it is a reboot. And it's going to making its own way, I guess you could say. For me, they don't say Book 'em Dano enough, but those of you who don't know who Dano is or just following this version of Hawaii Five-0, should be good with the way that it's going. One thing that I like is they've added Katrina Law. Those of you who don't know who that is, Katrina Law, she was on Arrow as like the one of the assassin girls on there, and she was actually the daughter of the main guy, and so now she's on here playing a military detective, well, military police detective, I guess you could say. Big fan of Katrina Law. She's an underrated actress. So also they did this thing where Jerry is leaving the show. Jerry is leaving the show. The excuse they gave is so Jerry. If you don't know, Jerry is the guy on there who's like a conspiracy theorist, And, hey, there's an old saying, just because I'm paranoid does not mean the world is not out to get you. All right. So Jerry says he's leaving because he's writing a book. When asked what the book is about, Jerry said the book is about the Federal Reserve's involvement of the sinking of the Titanic. I mean, that's so Jerry, right? So moving on, as I said on the other episode, MacGyver won't be back until mid-season. In its place, they have Magnum PI. Magnum PI it's another one of those middle of the road shows. All right. To me, they focus on too much like trying to make it like the original when you don't even have the original. You have like he's a Hispanic guy playing the role of Thomas Magnum. So basically, I feel like they need to just make their own way with it. It's a pretty good show, but they just need to make their own way with it. Now, I did try to get back into How to Get Away with Murder. I watched the first few seasons of it, and then I stopped watching. But since I'm doing the channel, I thought, hey, might as well get back into How to Get Away with Murder. The only problem was that when I started watching it, I remember why I stopped watching it. It is so much nonsense on there. People who are fans of this show, please hit me up in the comments. How do you continue to watch this show episode after episode? I mean, it is the most, it's just so much nonsense, okay? So I couldn't even finish the episode that I was watching, so I had to cut that out. All right, now, Sunday featured the return of the show The Rookie. Was very interested in seeing how they were going to do Talia. They did Talia where they mentioned her in passing. If you don't know, Talia, played by Afton Richardson, criticized the people who worked on the show, said she was being racially harassed, sexually harassed, all of that. So she left the show because of this. They had an investigation on it, and turns out they said that she had no kind of claim or whatever, that her claim was false, all right? So waiting to see how they were going to what approach they were going to take in the show. They mentioned her, but they kind of mentioned her in passing. Does that not sound familiar? That's kind of the way that Empire mentioned Jamal on Wednesday night, and now they do this with her. So, and both of them were said that their crimes did not actually happen. Interesting thought. So, anyway, the rookie, I was missing Talia, I really was, but they still found a way to go on without her. They're gonna need someone to take up that role, to take up that mantle that she was doing, because she had a good role in that. You know, her part was very important. All right, NCIS Los Angeles. NCIS Los Angeles is one of those shows I started out really, really loving. I mean, I still like the show, but okay, just to explain to you what I'm talking about. The entire season premiere of NCIS Los Angeles, along with the episode that ended it, the season finale last year, none of it took place in Los Angeles, which is kind of odd, right? Since the name of it is NCIS Los Angeles, because after all, NCIS does take place in Washington. NCIS New Orleans does take place in New Orleans. And the thing about this, at the end of the show, they kind of announced that the next episode wasn't even going to take place in Los Angeles. Anyway, still a pretty good episode. Now, my main show, God Friended Me. Okay, you don't have to be like a big religious person to watch God Friended Me. It's one of those shows, for me, it is a feel-good show. The way they tie everything together, it's almost like the people work for Marvel, because they take the show and they tie it together with things that's happening on the episode. Now, if you play the long game with it and you watch episode after episode, because the first season they had, it was like they linked like episodes in the middle back to the first episode, or episodes at the end back to the first couple of episodes or whatever like that. So they're doing it like that, and the message is positive. It's just, like I said, it's just a great feel-good show. If you've never seen it, please go on CBS All Access or wherever you binge watch shows at. Look up season 1 of God Friended Me and get into this season as well. All right, new shows. All right, so just gonna be honest with you guys, all right? The new shows that debuted, that premiered, they actually could not show a single episode of any of those shows moving forward. And I wouldn't miss it. I probably wouldn't even realize they're gone. I mean, they were just so like blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Usually you have at least one show that comes out and you be like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait till this next episode come out. Can't wait till this next episode come out. No show left me with that feeling. No show did. It was, I just don't even know how to explain it. I'm gonna go through a few of the shows with you. I actually checked on the ratings. I get my information for the most part from TV Line. Checked on the ratings of these shows to see how other people were feeling, other viewers were feeling. They were feeling the same way. Like nobody was blown away by any show. Okay, so first show, Prodigal Son. Prodigal Son was actually okay. So the tripped out part about it is it's about a son who is a consultant for the NYPD. He's got all of these these observation skills and everything like that. His dad is locked up for life for being a serial killer. So, like I said, he's a consultant for the NYPD. But when he gets stumped, he goes to visit his father, who's in prison for, like I said, being a serial killer, and consults with him. So basically, it's like Dexter and the Blacklist, Raymond Reddington got together and decided, hey, let's come up with a show together. This is basically what it would be. It would be The Prodigal Son. Moving on, All Rise. All Rise stars Simone Missick, who you probably know from Netflix's Marvel series Luke Cage. She plays a judge who just got, moved up to being a judge from being one of the DAs. The thing about that is what gets me is it's trying to be one of those shows with a message, one of those shows with a heart, but it's trying too hard. You just need to let it flow. Just let it come to you. Also, the other thing that trips me out is that every time someone says, Your Honor, she just doesn't know who they're talking about. Even if you hear Your Honor, shouldn't you turn around to see who's there? I mean, I'm just saying. But she never knows who they're talking about. So there's something right there that they just really need to work on. Stumptown. Stumptown stars Kobe Smulders. The Marvel people, y'all may know her as being Agent Hill from the Marvel franchise. If you're concerned that, hey, dang, she's got her own show, so now we won't be seeing Agent Hill anymore. Hey, pump your brakes. Do not worry about missing her, because the way Stumptown was, I'm pretty sure that by the next time that the Marvel movies come around, she will be readily available, because I feel like this show will be canceled. Yes, it's that bad. She plays a hard-nosed detective, right? And doesn't follow like anybody's rules or whatever, like kind of like PI kind of thing, right? Gets the job done without the police, because she feels like she don't need the police. While all the meantime, she's having all of these problems, these issues that she's working through. So she's drinking and stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds basic. It's basically the storyline applied to pretty much every other movie, every other detective show. All right, moving on. Evil. Evil, which stars Netflix's Marvel Luke Cage again. He plays Luke Cage is Mike Coulter is the guy who's doing it. I know what you're thinking. I do somewhat resemble, Mike Coulter. I get that all the time. But anyway, basically the name of the show is called Evil, and they did get the right name for it, because for me, evil is what I think about when I think about the storyline, because the storyline is evil, the backstory is evil, the fact that they put this show on Thursday nights and swat to Wednesday nights is evil. Everything about the show is evil. I mean, including it not being good. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Another show, speaking of not being good, Bob Hearts Abishola. Bob Abishola. Well, it is, Bob Hearts Abishola is, how should I? You know what? By the time that I think of a good description of it, it'll be canceled. Yeah, that's about how it is, okay? Now, Mixed-ish. Let me say that correctly. Mixed-ish it's from the creators of Blackish. Blackish, great show starring Anthony Anderson. It spawned a spinoff called Grownish, where one of their daughters go to college, all right? So, Mixed-ish is about his wife, who is played by Tracy Ellis Ross. She is a mixed child. And so this follows the storyline of the history of her getting to where she is now. So it starts off as she's a kid. That's what Mixed-ish is about. Her being a kid, her dad being white, and her mom being black. Now, her dad is played by Mark Paul Gosselaar, and the mom is played by Tika Sumpter. Always good to see Tika Sumpter in anything, right? The tripped out part about this is Tika Sumpter she's dark-skinned, but on the Blackish show, her mom is relatively light-skinned. But anyway, so Tika Sumpter, many of you may know her from her time on the Have and the Have-Nots Tyler Perry show. Mark Paul Gosselaar, you may know him as Zach from Saved by the Bell. You most recently, you may know him as he starred in the show The Passage last season, about a guy who was helping a young black girl who has powers navigate and understand her powers, where she was facing monsters or whatever like that. Prior to that, You may know him from playing in a show called Pitch, where he played a guy who helped a young black girl navigate her way through playing baseball as a pitcher who was really good pitching for the men's. Dang, Mark, Paul, you're kind of sounding the same. But anyway, Mixage to me was more of a heat check. They did go ahead on and add Gary Cole. I like him. He's funny. He's serious. You know, that was a good add-on. But I feel like this was a heat check for the creators of Grownish. Blackish. Just seeing how many spinoffs they can do successfully. Right now, it's first episode. I don't think this is gonna follow suit. With Grownish, I was right on it. But it may take some doing. All right. Emergence. Emergence was about a young girl who has these amazing powers, but she can't seem to remember anything. And this lady is helping her navigate and understand the powers that she has. So basically, this is the last season's The Passage being repackaged. That's basically what it is. Or I guess the remix. So, sorry to disappoint you all, but that's pretty much about how these fall shows have been, the new ones anyway. Hopefully mid-season, they come out with some that really catch our attention, because we are definitely needing that, okay? So, be sure to go ahead on, click on the subscribe button, like, comment, share. I'm gonna take a brief pause, and then I'm gonna have a final word. All right, thanks for coming back. My final word for this episode is this. The show Emergence, Bob Hearts Abishola, Stumptown, Mixage, and Evil. What do they all have in common? They all are showcasing interracial relationships where the woman is white and the partner, be it husband, boyfriend, or whatever, is black or African American, or however y'all want to put it. This is something that I look back and I think about when Martin Luther King had his I Have a Dream speech. This was what he was referring to, was us being in this place where, honestly, even when I was in high school, I couldn't see a time where there would be commercials where they actually promote interracial relationships, because that's what they do now. I think Walmart was the first ones to do it. They took a little backlash or whatever, but they continue to do it. Other people have joined suit. And now Hollywood as a whole has joined suit. You think about it. Those new shows I just listed all have that in common. I applaud Hollywood. However, some of you are still so offended by the fact that there are interracial relationships going on in the world today. My advice to you is get over it. There's an old saying that goes, you can't control who you love. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you can't control who you love, then you definitely can't control who someone else loves, right? So that is my final thought for the day. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Moving forward, Mondays will be Movie Monday, where I discuss movies that came out over the weekend. Didn't anything too much good come out this weekend, so therefore that's why I pushed this into Monday. All right. Once again, please go ahead on, subscribe, like, comment, share. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Marcus Kimbrough, and this is Staying in My Lane. Later.